Macho said you can take your 10:30 start and minus it by 2 minutes. Welcome everyone to the Lummy Sports Show with Rhett. Rhett, are you okay down there?
I'm all right. You got shit falling over.
Listen, I don't even have my screen up here.
Just trying to hold back the avalanche.
Is it
I think we're good.
Is it behind you, or is it the Warsaw sign?
It's everywhere.
Of course.
No, it's not the Warsaw sign.
813-90 Bubba, 813-90-BBBA, Macho's message. Tough, you said to go. Hey, listen, it's okay, Macho. I mean, Rhett's ready to go. I just wanted to make sure that he was good. And he's been back there working on the best ofs for Friday and Monday for the video. I think that's what you've been working on, right?
Yeah, this one in particular will be on Friday.
Nice. You got any little sneak peeks on it?
It's old stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, everyone.
Yeah.
Check out a little old school. Are you doing a rock show? I know we're not at the weekend, but I'm scrambling to get my chat pulled up.
Maybe. I don't know. We've been moving the last 6 days, and we still have a little bit of organizing left to do. So we'll see. Maybe not.
I see a lot of people enjoy that, so that would be definitely good for Labor Day if you're able to do it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad people like it. We do have the extra days off. I come to realize. So yeah, more than likely there will be one or two.
Oh, sweet.
I kind of forget. We're kind of in the groove of things. Wednesday, we didn't work Monday. Today is Wednesday. We're doing the sports show first time in a couple of weeks, but like kind of getting into the groove of the week, getting ready to work, and then tomorrow we're here. Friday we're off. Monday we're off.
And we are doing a weekly wrap-up show tomorrow.
Is Colton going to be able to get off of work this week?
Great question.
Because normally Fridays are no problem, but it seems like whenever we have to do it not on a Friday, he's kind of...
Yeah. I feel like he's just pulling a
pulling a Colton.
I was going to say maybe a Brian.
Kind
of like back in the day.
Does he work remote?
Yes.
Colton?
Yeah.
We should just have him come in.
And work from here.
Work remote from here. He can do the show while he's working. That'd actually be... I don't know if it'd be great content, but it'd get him here on the show.
Exactly. At least we'll get an appearance on the show. I mean, that's what he wants. Here, let's go with the 239 real quick. Give me one extra second to pull up. Yeah, that seemed like it really worked out for us. But yeah, 813-90 Bubba, call us. We're going to be breaking down. I mean, obviously NFL is starting not this weekend, but next weekend. And we're going to break down the NFC. And next week we will break down the AFC. But a lot of things that have been going on in the NFL. The NCAA still not in the groove of things. Florida State lost to Georgia Tech. I mean, Florida State had to go out and go to Ireland.
I'm glad we got that out of the way early. I'm glad it took us not even until week 0 was over to figure out that FSU were frauds.
Well, you do know that FSU could still make the national championship or at least the playoffs.
I'm sure they could, and I hope they do for their sake. Extra team this year, and you can get away with a loss with an extra team this year.
Maybe two losses.
Maybe 2 losses. So yeah, fuck it. I mean, more excuses for them at the end of the year. I hope that they prove the haters like me wrong.
Listen, Florida's got a lot to work. They have one of the toughest schedules in the league. And I know you're a Florida guy, but I think they play the most ranked teams out of everybody.
I don't know what to expect for the Miami game. I'm not sure what kind of shape Miami's going to be in.
I feel like Miami's going to be in the recent shape that they've been in for a while now.
Where they start pretty well.
Yes.
And then they just let it go right around week 5, week 6, lose a totally winnable game, and then go back to being a joke.
Yes, exactly. And just struggle and not someone knock me out of this thing and not make the playoffs, not even be up for their ACC conference. But they'll have that like little glimmer of we could be good. We could be good. And give the Miami fans hope. I feel like that's what Florida's been kind of doing lately.
Yes and no. I guess it just depends on who you talk to. Like with Napier, I don't have any sky-high expectations for the team.
Yeah, I don't think you're not a Napier fan at all.
Not really, no, man. Like I would like him to show me something this year. That would be cool. But it just does not seem like that team is ever going to find themselves in good enough shape down the stretch. Very tough schedule this year, and I just don't.
You don't see it?
I just don't trust him. I just don't trust him as a ball coach. Loses the team at the worst possible time. And then, again, I'm always going to go back to this when I talk about why I'm so skeptical of Napier. But, referee Fred calling in and kind of telling us how raucous that sideline was. And it was enough to be noticed, and it was enough to be talked about, which means it's enough to potentially be an issue down the line.
Yeah, my buddy Pat, which you've met, he's called into the show a couple of times, but he said pretty much he thinks Florida is going to have a better year than people expect.
I would like that to be the case. I mean, they had a really good recruiting class last year. I think Graham Mertz is a solid quarterback. If they can build him in that offense and Napier can call a consistent offense, that's the other thing too. If he can call a consistent offense and Graham Mertz can stay healthy, they can protect him. I think he's a very talented QB. They got a couple of good pass catchers out there. I think Marco Wilson might be our number one this year. So there's some stuff to be excited about.
Let's go quick to the phone lines. 413.
Well, Max, it's Joe the Supermarket. I just wanted to give you a minute to get your bearings. I wanted to talk to Rhett for a second.
All right, go for it.
So I was listening to the last rock show, and that was the absolute heaviest rock show I've ever heard in my entire life. There were so many songs I've never even heard before, and I just got to say, great job. And then I'm like 3/4 of the way through it. I'm like, man, I need to tell Rhett next time I have the opportunity, I really need to hear some Hatebreed, because Hatebreed is so good. And the next song was Hatebreed. And then you killed me with Rammstein. Like, I don't know, did you program that, or are those your songs, or is that a Spotify list, or how does that work?
Yeah, that was playing off of a playlist. I kind of play the playlist, and then I go through and I cue the songs in order of what I want to hear. So the first,
so you know every song that's going to play?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then it's cool. It's really cool to add the Bubba bits in, so it just makes it worth listening to. Now, I don't know if you did, if you were fast, but I didn't hear you talk at all on this last rock show. Did you?
No, I didn't. I wasn't really home.
Okay, good. Because I thought I missed it. I'm like, damn. So hopefully this I'm sorry to bring up rock on a sports show, but I wanted to give Lummy his minute to. You caught up, Lummy?
Yeah, I'm good to go. Yes, sir.
Awesome, brothers. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
I know who this is. 239.
Hey, what's up, guys? Instar, how you doing?
What's up, Instar? We're not talking tennis. We're talking football. So I know it's sports, but still, tennis isn't really.
I can talk football. I don't think you can box me in as just one sport.
We'll see. What do you got to bring here there, buddy?
What?
Can't even box them in at one team.
I know, that's true. I mean, you got Carolina, you got Tampa Bay. I mean, it's probably whoever's going to be playing pretty well here in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Depending on what jerseys he's going to take.
We'll have a Travis Kelce by the end of the year.
Oh, I don't know if that would ever happen. That'd be pretty bad. Hey, watching college football last weekend, or the one game that was on the FSU Georgia Tech, I still, maybe this is just like a pet peeve of mine, I just do not get these international games. Like, Ireland doesn't need a college football game.
Well, the NCAA will disagree with you. Stadium was packed. I mean, the TV ratings were up.
I'm not saying it's not a cool experience and stuff like that, but it's just like, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. It's not like Ireland, a university over there, is going to have a college football team or even have like a recreational team or this and that. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. Yeah. And then this upcoming week, sorry.
No, you're good. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, with the amount of money that's thrown around, I mean, it's all going to boil down to marketing in one way or another. You know, you're marketing the university to. I know you're not exactly expecting some kid from Ireland to want to go play Florida State football, and that's not what it's there for. But you're putting the brand out there, kind of like the NFL traveling to all these different countries. At the end of the day, the stadium's going to get filled up. People are going to get paid. Programs are going to get paid. And, I mean, schools are going to get extra exposure, which I think is just what they want. But yeah, marketing. It's all about the promotion.
Well, you got to forget
the spectacle of it.
Georgia Tech has the punter from Ireland.
Yeah, that was cool too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like what Rhett said, it's all about the payday, man. Florida State, they Georgia Tech, they probably got paid over $1 million for just to go there, for a game, and Florida State's redoing their stadium.
Yeah, I don't know. I think after expenses and listen, I know it's all about the money and the marketing, and ESPN was on it and everything else. But I just think at the end of the day, and then I see week 1 of the NFL. What's that? A Friday night game? Is that in Brazil or Mexico City?
Brazil, Packers. It's the Packers.
Ain't nobody in Brazil playing NFL football.
No,
They're crazy.
I do agree that some of it is absolutely ridiculous. Like I kind of thought the Jaguars doing a 2-week stay in London last year was dumb. I think playing in Brazil is dumb. God, where else have they played that was kind of a dump? Wasn't the stadium?
Germany?
Wasn't the stadium? Yeah, like that was cool. That was cool. Listen, there's a lot of countries that they want to go to. Worldwide outreach. So I'm not going to shit on any in particular country, but like you do hear about, you remember when the Olympics were going to be in Rio in Brazil.
Oh yeah,
and just all the local dangers and the cesspools that you could get lost in. Like,
don't leave Olympic Village.
Yeah, don't leave team facilities. All of that good stuff. So you're going to hear the same news stories recycled once that game gets closer. But while I agree it's not all necessary, if somebody's getting paid, it's going to happen.
Of course.
It's kind of like the WWE in Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of people who hate that, but I mean, there's just too much money for them to look the other way.
How many times did they go over there?
I think it's twice a year.
Oh.
Did you guys see the news story where the NFL is going to allow teams to sell 10% of their ownership to private equity firms? And that's opening up the Saudi money right there.
Well, I think the NHL already does that, correct?
Can they do it internationally? I know it's private whatever, but like I guess
it's international. It's from what they say, it's private equity. So yeah, it can be international. From what I read, yes.
Jeez.
Well, I mean that opens it up. I mean, like we said, man, it's all about the money. It's all about the money, and that's where it's going. That's why they're trying to.
Real quick on the NFL.
Go
Sorry,
for it.
guys. Real quick on the NFL. I tagged you on Twitter, Rhett, about this. I really think that Commanders-Bucks game, that's a trap game, and we could be walking out of there with a loss. I don't know why, but something about that game and those matchups, I'm just like, I don't know. This team's got nothing to lose as far as the Commanders/Redskins. That could be a week 1 loss. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's week 1.
I mean, Vegas has it right now pretty much as a pick it.
Yeah, I think the Bucks have hopefully dispelled some of the lore they had around rookie quarterbacks whenever they would play. For the longest time, we couldn't beat any. Recent memory is like Brock Purdy kicking the shit out of Tom Brady in the Bucks, which was depressing his rookie year. But
yeah.
I think it's just
kicked the shit out of us with the Eagles.
I think the Bucks have the better roster. I think at this point they're the better coach team, but it's ultimately going to be a litmus test for them to not believe their own hype. Like I think if the Bucks can stay composed, they should win this game. But nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. So I get the feeling that you get because. Like the Bucks have done that shit before, so it would not surprise me one bit if they're trailing 10 points at halftime week 1.
I could see that too.
I just don't want to have to do a jersey change mid-game and put on my Panthers jersey.
Put on your
That's really what I'd be upset about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Panthers are going to fucking win anything this year. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, look at that wide receiving core they have. Tell me a guy on that. I didn't even know who they were. I was looking at the team roster, and I'm just like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
Yeah,
it's just going to be a bad season.
Sorry, go ahead, Lummy.
No, you go for it. I was just saying they're going to go to New Orleans, so.
Yeah. Well, I am a big fan of Xavier Legette, who I think is South Carolina.
Yes.
Yep.
He's dope, man. I don't know if you've heard any of his interviews, Lummy.
No, I have not.
He talks like he's got marbles in his mouth. He's
one of those guys?
He's like deep Southern drawl. And he talks. He's like this big 6'4", 6'5" black guy. He's huge. He's built like DK Metcalf.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he talks like Forrest Gump. But he'll have
here.
yeah, Xavier Legette talking is the first fucking thing that you're gonna get. Yeah, people ask him about his accent, and he's like, I don't think I talk with an accent, or I think I sound pretty normal.
I'm gonna play him. Sorry,
It's like a mix of Forrest Gump and the guy from Sling Blade.
Here it is.
You guys have a great day.
How much people really love it?
Oh yeah, well, they've been dragging it all over social media. They've been dragging it all over social media.
sorry,
man.
hold
I just tell.
What?
How much people really love it?
Oh yeah, well, they've been dragging it all over social media. They've been dragging it all over social media, man. I just tell folk, man, they really just ain't never heard nobody talk for money.
Hold on. By the way, he hasn't opened his mouth one time. Watch it. Like, do you see? Like, I guess
it's all teeth.
he is.
I love his.
Man,
I can hear
just
him
tell
talk all
folk,
day.
Man, they really just ain't never heard nobody talk
Can he
for
talk
money.
that way?
Yeah, we need to get that guy a podcast immediately.
Hey, yeah, that's all dragged over. Now he'd kick my ass. So,
Here, click one of those. Click one of those other ones. One of the shorts right there.
About the horses, how old were you when you rode your first one?
When I was about 5 years old, and ever since I was a little boy, my uncle he would bring the horses to my house every day for my birthday, and then we'll go out there to the horse stable on the weekends.
You have your own horse?
Oh yeah,
What's his name?
Dollar Bill.
What's that?
Dollar Bill.
Yeah.
Dollar Bill?
Yeah, it's a racking horse. One that stepped pretty.
That was my next question. Is it like a quarter horse?
Oh yeah, it's a quarter horse.
It's a quarter horse.
Hold on.
I don't even think there was an S.
I don't think there was either.
It's a quarter horse.
Thank God they have a
Subtitles.
caption. Yeah.
That was my next question. Is it like a quarter horse?
Oh yeah, it's a quarter horse. We got some
No, he a quarter horse. Quarter horse. There's no
race
S.
horses there. Oh, he about 15 right now.
About the
God bless him.
Do you know where he's from?
Oh God, is he from South Carolina? He went to University of South Carolina. He's a cock.
I mean, I didn't know they talked that way in South Carolina, though.
Man,
I
you
mean,
get
I
deep
guess,
out
yeah,
there. You get closer to North Carolina.
Well, I was
That's
gonna
where they
say
start talking like that.
In the mountains,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you got to go. Yeah, he's Mullen, South Carolina.
Marion County. They got one Piggly Wiggly there.
All right, so he's a little off the coast. Yeah, he's in the heart of South Carolina.
Little town. They vacation in Myrtle Beach twice a year there.
They had an Arby's that shows off right here. Dry Dock Seafood. Yeah, they're pretty close to North Carolina. I mean, it's smack dab in a.
Baby, we got a timeshare in Myrtle.
But oh crap! I didn't mean to click that. And now we're gonna get back to the horse guy.
about the horses, how old were you when you rode?
Horse dollar bill.
About the horses.
No, I mean he's getting paid too. First pick for them.
Yeah, good for him. I'm a fan of
pick.
I'm a fan of his. There's a lot of young wide receivers in the NFL right now that are easy to like.
Well,
Just
it's
really athletic players, like this breed of wide receiver. I think is going to be one of the most exciting in a long time.
I would say probably what was the last Mike Evans? The Mike Evans draft?
Yeah, I mean you had Devontae Adams, Mike Evans. Let me see who else from that 2014
Yeah,
draft.
let's take this phone call. Look that up real quick. We'll take 917.
Yo, what's up, Lum? It's Ford.
What's up, Ford?
Good morning to you guys, by the way.
Good morning to
Morning.
you.
It's almost 8 o'clock here in the West Coast.
As you cheer for the New York Giants. Good to go.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how many wins
For
do
the
we think the New York
Giants?
Giants for the Giants this
Well,
year, maybe? Big Blue.
It depends. Is Danny Dimes healthy the whole year?
Okay, let's just pretend like Daniel Jones will play, Drew Locke will play, and DeVito will even see some time this year.
Oh, that's not good if you got DeVito coming in. I mean, you got DeVito in, you might as well just cough that bad boy up to about 4 wins.
Come on, he's Paisan.
Yeah, he's a Paisan, but still, I mean, the rest of the team around him couldn't even pull it out. I mean, you got Baltimore. Atlanta's going to be better. You got Philly twice. Dallas is going to be okay. I think Cleveland's going to be a lot better. But you play him early on before Chubb comes back. I mean, I could see you guys probably being 9-8, 8-9, right around there, that 500 range. I think you're going to take advantage of Minnesota with Sam Darnold early on. I don't think, even though Sam Darnold has weapons out of his ass around him, I think it's going to take a couple weeks for him to get. Yeah.
I was looking up the win total, and their DraftKings has their win total at 6.5.
Yeah. If I was betting on it, I would go through it, and I would probably say, like, I leaned to the 8-9 being nice. I'd probably give a couple others.
Over.
I'd hit the over because I could see them. I could see them leaking to 7 wins. I could see them splitting between Dallas or Philly.
I cannot, my friend. I'm sorry. I can see maybe at most like 6 or 7 wins, just because
7 wins. It's over though.
7 wins will be over. 6 is not.
You push it.
Ceiling, absolute ceiling, 7 wins. But I mean, a couple of really tough stretches here. I think that week after Cleveland is going to be shit. If you can beat Cleveland, if you're coming out of week 3 3-0, you still have a ridiculously tough stretch here. But Dallas at Seattle, then you got Cincinnati at home, then you got Philly at home, or on the road, excuse me.
Well, in your first 3, I mean, you're at Cleveland, at Washington. So, I mean, Cleveland I think is going to be a lot better, but that's going to be a tough one at Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, at home. Home. Cincinnati, Philadelphia at home. Dallas at home. So it helps that those games are at home. But
the Giants haven't beaten Dallas in years, unfortunately.
Yeah, we got Thursday night football.
I think they've been swept. I think they've been swept every year for like the last 4 maybe. I don't know. It's been a long time. I feel like since they've beaten Dallas at all.
Yeah, but you might be able to squeeze that Thursday night game against Dallas at home. I can see that.
All right, so we're thinking 7 wins, maybe 6.
Yeah, I still, with the 6 wins that DraftKings have, I would take the over on it. I mean, the East has been pretty strong, but last year everyone was pretty much, right around that 500 mark. So I could see them squeaking out 7. Now, listen, if Danny Dimes goes down with his, $600 million contract that he has, and if you're calling up Pizza Boy DeVito, I mean, you might as well just take that ticket and flush it down the toilet.
If you want to win some money this year, bet the under.
It's his last chance, Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
I feel like I've been saying that every year, but
if this is your last chance,
this
is your last chance, and you have to win some money, then bet the under.
Yeah, if you're down to your last $10, I'd probably say I wouldn't even bet on it. I would just say maybe look for a better bet, but like Rhett said, yeah, probably bet the under. But I'm thinking they're going to squeeze 7 out. If you're looking at 6.5, I'm thinking they're going to hit 7. Just looking at it.
All right, fellas, thanks for taking my call. And we have a podcast coming again this weekend. They're giving us another chance. So
sweet, check it out.
I know some people loved it, some people didn't, and some people are indifferent. And isn't that the story of life?
Yeah, but that's the Bubba Army though too. You got to win them over. Take big steps all about it.
Reddit loved me. Reddit loved me.
We don't. I don't go on that thing. That thing's evil. I mean, go ask him what ask him.
Reddit hated me.
Yeah, ask him. What the Giants will feel on Reddit. They'll probably tell you they won't win a game this whole year.
You know what? They compared me to. I did get a Lummy. They said that one of the guys said, Bubba's trying to make Florida star like he supposedly made Lummy a star or something like that.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. That's probably one of my biggest fans. So you're in really good company.
All right, guys.
All right, man. See ya.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, man.
Respectfully, I think if you're doing this to make the dumb fuckers on Reddit happy, you're just doing it for the wrong reasons. But going back to that 2014 NFL wide receiver draft class.
Let's hear
All right, so some notable names here. See if you remember any of these. Martavis Bryant, Corey Brown.
Martavis Bryant. He's on the Steelers, right?
Yeah, I think he might still be playing. Willie Snead.
He's still playing. He's got re-signed.
Yeah, he just signed.
Dolphins, right?
Was it the Dolphins? I think you're right. Yeah, Willie Snead still getting after it.
I don't know her name.
Josh Huff, who was good for a little while.
Yes, he was.
Brandon Coleman, who was good for a little while. Allen Robinson. Dante Moncrief, you remember that name?
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, of course. Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Kelvin Benjamin. Kind of hard to believe that Kelvin Benjamin came out of the same draft class as Mike Evans and Devontae Adams for some reason. Like, I don't know why that he seems so far removed from the rest of these guys. But Kelvin Benjamin, Jordan Matthews, who is still playing, did get signed this week. Brandon Cooks, Marquise Lee, who was good for a little while, but not really that consistent. Odell Beckham Jr., Mike Evans, and the number one ranked on this list, because this came out in 2014, is Sammy Watkins, which is really funny. But Sammy Watkins out of Clemson, he was good for a little while too. I don't know if he's still playing or not.
Well, but if you look at what they're talking about a lot of those guys played in the NFL for more than 1 year. And I would consider that a good draft.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of these guys still playing. I think 4 or 5 of the guys that I named are still active in the NFL. Mike Evans, widely regarded, or by a lot of people now, as a future Hall of Famer. The only wide receiver in NFL history to start his career with 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Devontae Adams, one of the best of all time as well. Him and Mike Evans from this draft class are probably like 1A, 1B, most people would say. And then OBJ had his era. I'd say he's overall a little overrated, but he was good for a while.
He's on the Dolphins too.
Robinson just got cut apparently this week. So yeah, some guys still looking for jobs, but they're out there getting it. They've been in the NFL longer than you or I have, Lummy.
Oh, of course. A lot longer, obviously. But if you look at that draft class, the Dolphins must have been living in 2014. They got Snead and OBJ over there on their wide receiver. Let's see, OBJ right there. He's out for, I think, the first 4 weeks.
All type of washed up.
Oh, wait, did they get rid of Snead? Oh, looks like they got rid of Snead.
They might bring him back on the practice squad. They got guys. So when you're looking at that there, they've got a couple of guys on IR. So Taj Washington, Anthony Schwartz, those guys are not going to start the season on the 53-man roster. So that's where things this time of week do get a little deceptive, because there's a lot of teams that by the Tuesday deadline, yesterday's deadline, had to have their roster cut down to 53. But I believe next week, once the game week starts, is officially when those rosters go into effect. So there's still some moving around that could be done. Some free agents that could be swiped up, and some guys that could go to a practice team or be taken by another team for their practice squad. Sorry, I kind of over-explained that.
No, you're good, because I was looking up Willie Snead, and he's still on the Dolphins, like you said. So that ESPN roster is out. The depth chart is keeping the outs and the injury reserved. So kind of impressive on the 2014. I'm not gonna lie. When you were calling some of those names out, I definitely thought they were. Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
I feel like Brandon Cooks has been in the league. I guess it's been 10 years, but still.
Yeah, but he was a fantasy monster for 2 years. I don't know if he ever won a Super Bowl. I thought he was on the Rams team that went to Super Bowl 53.
I thought they cut him. I want to say they did. I thought they cut him, but I don't think he won. I don't think he won it. But yeah,
I don't think he won it either. I think he was on the Rams team that went to 53 and lost.
And then they got rid of him, and then they won it later on. Yeah, because he's still on the Cowboys. But he's still playing in the league. He's only 30. And obviously, our former co-host, Brian, has said before that that's pretty much where the wide receivers go over, over the hill.
Kelvin Benjamin. I don't know if you've ever...
I don't know if you've... 400 pounds and...
No, it's just have you ever disliked it? Well, I guess you have, because we talk about, Tua turn the ball over all the time. But have you ever just disliked a player? Just can't stand a player. Maybe my least favorite player of all time would be Kelvin Benjamin.
Is it because he played at Florida State?
All of it. His entire resume. All of it. I just felt like he was always overrated with Cam Newton in Carolina. He wasn't that great.
Are you saying he's overrated?
Of a wide receiver. He was always fat. He got fat.
Is that why you're upset about it? Because he got fat?
He got fat. I remember he was just washed up down the stretch. I don't remember why exactly, but yeah, there was just a lot that I remember thinking, this guy's so overrated.
Well, guess what? I think he's sitting at home now.
Well, for the last Booger McFarland. Okay, so Carolina, he was decent for 3 years, and then after that, he was ass everywhere he went. He wasn't that good in Buffalo. I don't remember what he did in Kansas City.
I didn't even know.
And then he took a 3-year break to come back to the Giants in 2021. I'm sure we all remember that all-star run.
Practice squad member.
There was one time when he was playing for Buffalo. I think it was Monday Night Football when they still had Booger McFarland in the Booger Mobile.
Oh, going up and down.
Yeah, and they showed a shot of Kelvin Benjamin just sitting on the sideline. The offense is on the field, and they're talking about Kelvin Benjamin. He's sitting on the bench. And Booger McFarland is like, yeah, well, he was a short-handed receiver coming out of Florida State, played a couple years in Carolina. He's about a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end. But, he needs to get better at creating separation. And that was probably the funniest thing I'd ever heard at that time.
As he's sitting on the bench.
About a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end.
But, didn't he go for a tight end for a little bit with Carolina?
Towards the end of his career, I think. I don't know. I don't know if he really did play a tight end all too often. I remember for a while he was listed as a wide receiver. So 2014 played in 16. Didn't play in injury 2015. Played in 16 games in 2016.
Fell right off there.
Yeah, why were we hyping this guy up? His rookie season was all right. 73 catches, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Good amount of touchdowns. That's great.
Yeah.
And then 2016, I know he had a year off due to injury. He had a pretty good 2016 if you're looking at a number 2 option. 941 yards, 7 touchdowns. I don't know. I don't know why this guy. I just remember at that time that I think kids my age were super fucking excited about Kelvin Benjamin because Cam Newton was an MVP.
Oh yeah, you had Cam Newton, but you also had when he was playing with Florida State, they won the national championship.
Right.
He was a big guy. He went to Glade Central, man. That's a good football school there, or it used to be when.
Was that Miami?
It's Glade Central, right around the
Palm Beach,
Lake Okeechobee.
Yeah, or
whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's a powerhouse. It even says right here the school was a football powerhouse. That's in the Wikipedia. Let's see here real quick. In 2001, New York Times reported, and I said it was back in the day, Glade Central had produced more current NFL players than any other high school in the country, with 7 during the 2001 season.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Go down. I just want to see some notable alumni. Rydell Anthony, Brad Banks, Kelvin Benjamin, Travis Benjamin, Damian Barry. Let me see if I recognize any of these names here.
I don't see any.
Santonio Holmes.
Fred Taylor,
Deontay Thompson. Fred Taylor. You said Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, they still made it to the NFL.
James Jackson, running back.
Getting out of Belle Glades. That's a tough one. But we're going to break down the NFC. Next week, the AFC. The AFC, I feel, is pretty predictable. You guys can say that the NFC is pretty predictable and somewhat I know a lot of people were saying that it's going to be the 49ers Eagles for the NFC Championship. I think there's going to be a wild card team. I think obviously the Lions, if you're, I feel like there's a lot of homers on the Lions. Rhett, what do you think on the NFC? Do you think it got stronger this year or do you think it got weaker? Obviously the Chiefs have been running the table with it. They got the Dolphins in there. The Bills have been good. That's the AFC. But the NFC, do you think it got better than the AFC this year?
I think, I don't want to say it all depends on Caleb Williams, but I guess it just depends on how a lot of these young guys play. Certain teams got a little bit better. I don't know how much better Washington got, but if they got a good rookie quarterback, then they got better. I don't know how much better the Bears got, but if they got a decent rookie quarterback, then I would like to think that they got better.
No, I'd say the Vikings. Green Bay, I think the Vikings got worse.
Yeah, Vikings got worse. The Lions are probably going to be a little bit of a better team, I think. Green Bay probably going to be a little better. I know they just lost A.J. Dillon for the year, so it's going to mostly be on Josh Jacobs. I don't know how that affects their run game and how that's going to affect Josh Jacobs down the stretch. I don't know what other running backs they have. But when I look at the NFC North, I'm looking at the Lions still far and away. When I look at the NFC East, I'm looking at the Eagles. I don't think the Cowboys are at that level. I know they just paid CeeDee Lamb, but you haven't won anything with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, nothing. And Dax, if you listen to Alex Stein, they don't have another quarterback option on Dak.
Yeah, New York is New York. San Fran's still going to be a good team. Hopefully they get this bullshit figured out with Brandon Ayuk so they actually have a pass catcher. But you still got a good amount of talent. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel still very much on that football team. If Brock Purdy can play well, play consistent, then obviously San Fran's going to, I think, win their division, make it to the postseason.
Neil Malpazier, $10.
So I think the good teams got a little bit better, and the jury is still out on some of the young teams that look like they got better. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bucks, the jury's out on that. The NFC South, I would say the jury's out. The Falcons got better, but kind of took a
Neil Malpazier, $10. Thank you.
Kind of took a step back after the Kirk Cousins deal by drafting Michael Penix, who is a guy that's not going to play. Like, best case scenario, you drafted a guy that's not going to help you this year. Worst case scenario, you drafted a replacement for the quarterback that you went out and got. And I know Kirk Cousins isn't a long-term answer. I know that, the thought process behind getting Penix with the injury history that Cousins has, I understand. He's coming off of, what was it, an ACL, same injury, or an Achilles, I think same injury that Rodgers had.
Yeah, Achilles, yeah.
So he's coming off of an injury. I know you want an insurance policy, but I think when you talk about competing in a division that is already not great and making your team better to compete right now, you dumped a lot of resources into this guy, and you could have got him either better protection or more talent in the first round, and you got a guy that's not going to play. He's not going to help your team this year.
Yeah, but do you think it's
they can't make up their mind on whether they want to invest in the future or build a team right now.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that you don't think it's them, maybe not even for like in case Kirk Cousins goes down again or whatever. You don't think it's them trying to pretend they're the Green Bay and how Green Bay's brought up the quarterbacks, let Michael Penix sit behind Kirk Cousins for a couple years.
Oh, well, that's absolutely what it is.
Looking at the future.
Right. That's absolutely what it is. But, they're kind of balancing themselves between, we're going to do it and we're going to go all in right now. We're going to get Kirk these players, but they want to build a team for the future. So they're going to make all these draft picks on defense to make up for taking Penix. Hopefully these guys pay off in 3-4 years, but these lack of offensive weapons. Let's just say Matt Judon. I think it's a 2-year deal, right? By the time Penix is ready to play, is he going to be on that team? How many guys are still going to be on the defense? How many big name free agents are still going to be on that team? Are you going to deal away a Kyle Pitts? Are you going to potentially look at moving a Drake London? Like, who's still going to be on this team when Michael Penix is ready to play?
Unless they draft pretty good at wide receivers. I mean, they do have Bijan Robinson and Tyler. What's his last? Algier.
Tyler Algier, who's been really good. Buck Killer, Bijan Robinson. Again, they've got the talent. They've got young talent.
But if they say Bijan Robinson's legs, and have him go back and forth, kind of prepare him, because what's Bijan? How do you say it? Is Bijan? Bijan.
It's like Dijon mustard, but Bijan. He's actually got a brand of his own Dijon called Bijan's Dijon, and you can buy specific, like not game used, but 1-of-1 jars.
Oh, nice.
It's actually really cool.
It's he's 22, so think about it. Let's say Penix is ready in 3 years, so we'll put Bijan at 25, 26. I mean, he's still got 4 good years as running back. Some people say running backs go down 28, 29 if he's overused, but I just don't see it. I mean, Pitts has. I mean, I feel like this is Pitts' make or break year.
Yeah, it has to be. He's been on the precipice of breaking out, and he hasn't had any consistent quarterback play. He's had Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder, and it's like, fuck, dude. So I hope that primetime Kirk can stay healthy, at least healthy enough to bump up Kyle Pitts' fantasy stats this year. But there's a lot of playmakers on this offense that, if Kirk Cousins doesn't have a good year or he goes down and Michael Penix plays like a rookie quarterback, you're going to have a lot of these guys that are just, kind of left in a shitty spot on a contract year or whatever the case may be. Basically, my point is that the Falcons aren't making any decisions consistently right now. I think they're building a decent team, and I do think they're a lot better last year with the addition of Kirk Cousins. They got a couple of other good pieces there, but
don't forget Young Ho Q.
It's like you either have to be serious about going all in, or you have to be serious about building for the future. And right now, it doesn't seem to me they're serious about either one. They're making some moves like they are, but they're not investing their resources very wisely.
Oh, I think they dipped their toe in going all in.
Right.
I have a feeling that they're going to test out Kirk Cousins, see how he does this year. And I feel like if Kirk Cousins comes out with a really good year, which would really suck for us Buck fans, I feel that Atlanta next year will go all in.
Probably.
I feel like unfortunately, if the Falcons can sneak into the playoffs, and they've had a pretty good year. Kirk Cousins had a good year. Bijan Robinson's had a good year. I feel like they're going to be big spenders in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to bring in a lot of players, and we may just be giving up the NFC South to Atlanta next year. 239.
Lummy and Rhett, Mike from Naples. How you guys doing?
What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
There we go, hey, I was on the phone. I got a question NFL related, but I got a little sidetracked. Is anybody else with me? I love Joe the Supermark. I think he means well, but I watch his little videos sometimes, and he does a lot of stuff that doesn't seem very Christianly. And then the other thing is, Joe, you can make excuses all day, and this comes from a meaning well place. Just get up and stop making excuses, brother. Fucking, you spend the rest of your life in a bed. But anyway, on the NFL,
Hey, paralyzed. Get up.
You know,
let's go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Is there somewhere on the Hard Rock, or because I hear you guys like do the Super Bowl, like
Joe.
make a bet.
Joe was saving all his questions for today.
Is there a place on Hard Rock to do that?
Yeah, of course. Are you talking about future pets?
Holy shit, coming in hot today, Joe.
Yeah.
Or Mike, Jesus.
Yeah, Mike.
Fuck.
Yeah, if you go to future,
Nothing. It just nothing.
If you go to the Hard Rock, which we are not sponsored by Hard Rock and bet responsibly.
Okay. I'll download. What's it? Sports. Whatever. Yeah, I'll download that too. I don't care.
What the
I
fuck?
just want to make the bet.
Yeah, well, you got to download the app, or you got to go to the casino, or I don't know if you guys have sports betting down in Fort Myers or Cape Coral, wherever you're at.
Naples.
Okay, so Naples.
Unfortunately.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I don't know why, unfortunately, but yeah. Do you have the app?
Well, just because I all I do is fix rich people's pools, and pretty soon they're going to price out all the people that clean out their shitters and fix their pools, and we're not going to be able to afford to live here. So who's going to fix their shit? You know what I mean?
You're goddamn right, Mike.
Mike, you're really bringing the show up here now.
People have been living here their whole fucking lives getting priced out by the other people that decide to move here and keep their out-of-town jobs. I'm sick and tired of it. Thank you, Mike, for bringing the real topics to the forefront.
On the sports show.
I was laughing before. I was having a good time, but now, Mike, you triggered me because this is an issue with me now. Like, I signed probably my last lease in Florida last week. I'm serious, too, man.
Well,
It's a problem.
Right.
And hardworking people like Mike from Naples, who's been here his whole fucking life, has to move.
We should bring that up on the weekly wrap-up
because Karen and her 7 bitch kids moved in down the street, and now the price of rent is up 300%.
Listen, we should bring that up tomorrow because I'm sure Mike will call back because Colton probably will co-sign with you on that one. But Mike, since you brought up some great topics here on the sports show, thank you so much. I'm sure that everyone will say
put down a bet on the Houston Texans.
Well, no shit, Sherlock. I'm trying to tell you. If you just shut your mouth for a second, I'll tell you. I mean, hey, listen, Lummy's a dick. Lummy's holding down Rhett.
Lummy's not a dick.
The sports show is so entertaining that we got a guy complaining that he hates his job in Cape Coral. But listen, if you want to download the app. You just go to all games, hit NFL. NFL comes up. You see team futures, and right now the Houston Texans are plus 1,600, buddy. So if you wanted to take your I guess, if you bet $5 on the Houston Texans to win the Super Bowl right now, $5 would be able to pay $8,500. There, I broke it down for you.
Wow. And what do you guys think? You think the Houston Texans
No fucking way. Why don't you?
Their new receiving core?
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Mike? Why don't you come up here, take your $10 or $5, whatever you're gonna do, and video it, and just send that $10 over here. Actually, just get in here and super chat us, okay? You have a better chance of.
I mean, if you're gonna mark out to the Chiefs and the Bucks all day, I get it.
Chiefs.
But
We're talking about the NFC today.
Yeah, we're not even talking about the AFC, Mike. Jeez, Mike, you're not even following along with the conversation. Mike,
It ain't going to be
you're
the
killing
NFC.
it.
It ain't going to be the NFC.
Okay, well,
It's going to be the AFC.
who's working out of the Chiefs? Well, hold on. I didn't say one fucking word about the Chiefs. I said everybody thinks that it's going to be the Chiefs. You know, the Chiefs are, you know, they've been dominating the Ravens, the Dolphins, and I said onto the NFC, did they get better? And you're like, keep marking out to the Bucks and the Chiefs. What the fuck did I say about the Chiefs that made me sound like I was marking out to them?
Okay, not today. The other day, I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but they're marking out to the Chiefs like their time isn't over. Their time, it's not going to be easy to get past them. But I think somebody will, and I don't think it's going to be NFC, unless it's my Giants.
Oh, Jesus Christ, another Giants fan. Why don't you fucking come down from New York, Mike, and take our fucking jobs down here in Florida?
Hey, I'm already down here, buddy. Been here for 20 years.
Oh, so you're not even born and raised here. So your point of fucking bringing up to make Rhett upset. So you, motherfucker, came from the north and took away my and Rhett's jobs. So, you know what, Mike? Love you.
Oh,
go find that Texans.
No.
Yeah, well, you just call tomorrow. We'll talk about your northeastern, whatever. Your fucking northeasterner coming down here and taking our jobs. You're probably
okay.
20.
Love you guys. Have a great show.
Call tomorrow, Mike.
Love you, Mike. Man, Mike knows what he's doing. I think he effectively worked everyone here at the BRN today. Just in the course of a day, I think he got fucking everybody.
He knows so too.
He's much smarter man than you give him credit for.
Oh, 100%.
He came in with loaded questions this morning on the morning show. Bubba never takes fucking calls. No. Mike was ready. Threw him off his game.
Yeah, he did.
Came into this show, threw me off my game.
He came in hot, man. He came in hot, too. He came in excited, full, saying about how the Northerners are moving down to Florida.
Just fucking loaded questions. He's just saying what he needs to say. He's getting it off of his chest. And then, yeah, he got a visceral reaction out of me. And he's not even from here.
610.
Bubba. Lummy, Neil Mount Pleasure.
What's up, Neil Mount Pleasure?
Sorry, man. Long day, man.
Oh, you're good.
I just want to say, I won't move to your state. I'll stay in my shit state of Illinois and kill my bugs. But real quick on the Packers, I'm not a big fan of them playing in Brazil. I mean, they can't even wear their greens, am I right, because of the gangs? Isn't that a true statement?
Wasn't that? I think it was like dispelled as a myth or something. I think I think like the fact checkers went and, snuffed that one out.
Okay.
But I do believe there are certain restrictions for like what they can put outside of the stadium and around the town. I believe I read that.
Yes,
okay. I was just wondering. I mean, I don't know. It's like, now, does that count for a game that Philly's losing as a home game or the Packers?
Whoever the home team is.
And I believe it is Philly.
Is it? Okay, so yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Philly.
Okay,
I'm sure they're calling it at Philly. Why, you guys want an undefeated record at Lambeau this year and not, Corinthians Arena in Sao Paulo?
Well, you never know. It could be Lambeau South. You never know. So.
I just like how Vegas. I like how Vegas gave them 3 points. Like they're at home. Like they're really at home. I mean, you might as well make that game even if you think that the teams are even right now. I mean, is there really a point? Because it's like, oh well, we always stick to where the if it is an even team, we'll give the home team 3 points. Because if you look up, it's like Chiefs and Ravens started out. Well, Chiefs are at home, 3 points, because, right now it's week 1. Ravens and Chiefs, I would consider even. But, yeah, I mean, what do you think about A.J. Dillon going down?
I'm not. Well, he was barely going to make the team. It was the young, I think it's Lloyd they drafted from USC was going to be the backup. Because he was going to have trouble just making the 53.
Yeah, it kind of seems like his role has started to diminish these last couple of years. But, I mean, the guy can't even stay on the field. Like, last 3-4 years, he's missed games because of injury?
Yeah, because he's had the hamstring. And then, I mean, they said he looked the best he looked. But, I mean, everybody comes in when they're going to lose their job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing that helped us later last year because Jones was hurt. When he came back, he was fresh in Dallas. But he missed 7 games. So it'll be an interesting year. They're young, and It'll make up for my crappy St. Louis Cardinal baseball team. So I'm ready for football.
Oh, we're all ready for because the Rays aren't making the playoffs. They're just 500 balls. So, yeah, I'm ready for football too. I agree.
All right. Well, you guys have a great show.
All right, Neil.
Thank you, Neil.
Go kill those bed bugs.
Doop doop. Ba-doo doo doo.
Want to get your predictions since we were sidetracked by Mike from Naples. Really getting you worked up too. And now people in chat are saying I'm a dick because I guess I attacked Mike. I don't know.
You're attacking everybody. Heavy-handed Lummy.
Yeah, heavy-handed Lummy.
I can't wait for Colton to be here tomorrow. You'll find a reason to yell at him.
Oh, I love Colton. Colton's my best friend. Me and Colton hang out all the time now.
That's not what they say.
Oh, yeah, well, you're wrong. So I kind of wanted to go down and just kind of get your predictions as a NFL pro that you are for the NFC East.
Pro.
Yeah, I want to hear your. So I want to hear your who's winning the conference and who's going to make the wild card. Do you have actually? Before I do that, do you have a surprise team this year
for the NFC?
Yes.
I don't know how much of a surprise it would be at this point, but I want to say Green Bay. I think Green Bay could make a real run at it. If Jordan Love is what they hope him to be, they could be an NFC Championship caliber team. I think.
So
just because Detroit is like all the noise in that division now, you know what I mean? Green Bay would almost be a surprise.
True, but I mean they made the playoffs last year, right?
Yes. Yeah, they did.
2-3-9.
Hey, Lummy, it's Berto, man. I want to say awesome win on the preseason game.
Of course.
Even though our favorite quarterback sucks, and I don't want you to end the show because he sucks.
Who, Matt?
He didn't show up to the game. Yeah,
Matt White?
Question.
Yeah,
on the third-string quarterback, Wolf, why'd they get rid of him? Why didn't he keep him on the practice squad?
For the Bucks?
Oh, John Walford?
Yeah.
So he got injured. I believe he's going to be starting the year on injured reserve for Tampa Bay, but he's probably going to be someone that they bring back on the practice squad. They want to carry two quarterbacks as well because it opens up room for them to carry, I think, 6 or 7 wide receivers. If they wanted to carry 6 outside linebackers, they wanted to carry an extra tight end. They did carry 4 tight ends.
Yes.
So I think that is kind of where the heaviness is there. They got 4 tight ends: O'Keefe, Cade Otton, Payne Durham, and then Devin Colt put a really good preseason. I think they wanted a reason to stick him around. So if John Walford were to come back onto the 53-man roster, then he would be the backup quarterback because I think he'll end up on the practice squad like he did last year.
Okay, that's what Nana was telling me. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. I said, the sports show's on Wednesday, even though I got her listening. So you guys got a new listener. It's 85 because she's going back and forth with me with text while I'm driving.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, if you don't stop texting me, because she says she was trying to look for you at the game. I said, you can't miss Lummy. He's going to be the one with the 1-2, with the Tua shirt on. And she goes, no, he's a Dolphins fan. He's not. His wife is. So she's been listening.
He actually told Ashley that they weren't going to go to that game. He refused to show up until he knew that Tua wasn't going to play.
What?
Yeah.
You got to spend time with your wife, man, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
She was wearing a Zach Thomas jersey.
I don't want to.
Listen, she was getting put over with her Zach Thomas jersey, so she was feeling good until we kicked the shit out of him in preseason. And thank you for betting me.
They said the stadium was half and half for you guys. Half Dolphins, half Tampa.
Well, you got to think the Dolphins have been around since the fucking, 60s? Yeah, the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, and growing up here, it was either the Dolphins or the Dolphins. That we didn't have another team here. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you get the Bears, I guess because of my family's from Chicago and WGN. But, it was the Dolphins. I didn't like the Dolphins. Still don't like the Dolphins. Actually, I like the Dolphins, but Tua sucks.
I like Dan Marino, but I was never a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, Dan Marino and Irving Fryer.
Not Driver.
Irving Fryer.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm more of a Dolphins fan than you are now, Berto. Come on, buddy.
No, the problem is I'm trying to think, and right now I'm in Naples driving, watching all these dumb, young older people drive, and they get in the fast lane, and they drive like they're in the slow lane.
Oh, it's probably Mike from Naples. Man. Yeah, it's probably Mike from Naples you're running into right now.
I'm all over, man. I go from Naples all the way to Cape Coral, sometimes to Bradenton. I'm all over the place. That's what happens when you work for Quest, and you got to get all these good things for people.
Yeah, well, Mike from Naples is over in Naples, and he's high on chlorine right now, so I'm sure he's in the slow lane. Just kidding, Mike.
But no, but like I was saying, man, I want this football season to be good because my boys are getting into it now, and they're like, Dad, we get to spend time, we do all that stuff. I try to do all the crazy stuff with my kids, so it's fun.
Well, we're looking forward to it too. So thank you, Berto. We're gonna run down this real quick. All right, man.
All right, man. You guys have a good one. Have a real good day, and thanks for the good show because it's awesome. I love the talk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Berto.
All right, bye.
So you're saying, let's see here. I'm right there. So your surprise team is the Packers.
Yeah, I think when you look at who could really kind of break out and have a good year, I guess Dallas, but I just don't ever think they're going to get it done.
I'm writing it down. You got to lock it in. And then I want to
Green Bay. Yeah, if you're going to lock it in now, then Green Bay.
All right. So, but I want to hear your conference champ. I want to hear who's making the playoffs, and it's what, 8 teams now?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. With 2, is it 8 or 6?
I think it's
two wild cards.
It's 7.
7.
Yeah, because a first round bye.
There you go. So, who do you got winning the NFC East?
The NFC East, the Eagles.
All right. So you're going with the Eagles, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
NFC North.
The Lions.
Wow. Okay, going on in the ledge here.
Yeah.
NFC South. See, now I feel like the NFC South is kind of where you get. It's tricky.
It is tricky, but fuck it. It's gonna be the Bucs, baby.
Because I feel like it's gonna be a very competitive division this year.
It is. It's gonna be fun to watch down the stretch. I know that people say it's the worst division in football in these last couple of years. It pretty much has been. But a couple of these, by a couple of these teams, the Bucs and the Falcons got better. So, it's going to be fun to watch.
And the NFC West, who are you thinking?
Niners. Yeah, I know.
And so who are your playoff teams right now?
Who are my playoff teams? My playoff teams are Philly.
Okay.
Green Bay.
Yep.
Tampa.
All right.
San Fran.
Yeah.
And then I got, 3 wild card teams?
Well, hold on. You said the Lions were winning that division, so your Green Bay team is one of your playoff teams.
Yes, so it has to be.
So you got 2.
So I got 2 playoff teams left?
Yeah.
Dallas.
Okay.
1 left?
Yep.
There's not really a lot of teams that I like left that I think could make the postseason.
You don't think that the Rams could make a run,
I'm kind of torn
Seattle?
between LA and Seattle. I don't want to say the Bears.
So you don't even think
Bears.
You don't think the Falcons are going to make that?
Fuck the Bears. Fuck their stupid hype train.
They got a hype train? Are they on Twitch?
Yeah. I'll say the Rams. I will say the Rams. Puka Nacua is going to have a really good year, so I'll give me the Rams.
Since we're doing the NFC now, I just want to know who's making it out of that whole playoffs.
Who is your NFC
champion?
The Lions. Give me the Lions.
Oh, you got the Lions going, huh, buddy?
Yeah, I can't count out MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell, baby.
So pretty much it's almost like it's going to be the same exact playoffs from last year?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to be more of the same. I think the good teams got a little bit better. And some of the less competitive teams, some of them got a little bit better, but the jury's still out. I don't think Washington's going to be good enough to make it to the postseason.
Atlanta, though.
With a rookie quarterback.
Kirk Cousins driving his mom's minivan down from Minnesota.
You know what?
Can't change the talk down. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I can't. And I think those division losses are going to add up.
Oh, I think so. I think the NFC South is going to be again another 9-8 playoff team.
Yeah.
And the other, the Falcons aren't going to qualify because I got the Bucs winning that too. So you got the Lions winning the NFC. I guess that's different because obviously the Eagles won it last year. And I do agree with you on that.
I think it's going to be Philly and Detroit in the NFC Championship. 100%.
All right, so a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I can see that. You don't think the Cardinals with Kyler Murray coming back are going to be like an upset team?
No, they're going to upset their own fans, I think.
You don't think they're going to do anything this year?
I don't. No, I don't. Marvin Harrison might have a pretty good rookie year if Kyler Murray can see him over the line of scrimmage and stay healthy.
Wow.
I like Marvin Harrison a lot as a prospect. I don't love the Cardinals for him.
Look at this right here. They got what's his name?
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, it's Tony. Is he going to the Cardinals?
No, he did get cut by Kansas City, though.
Did.
He's a guy that is going to be talked about. There's going to be a lot of teams by week 6 that really need receivers, and a lot of fans are going to say, I wish we would have signed Kadarius Toney.
That's what the Chiefs thought when they got him from the Giants, that he was going to make a difference. But obviously he didn't. And yes, Stumpy62, Brian Flores was right. Tua is soft. So there you go. Rhett's got the Lions and the Eagles in the NFC Championship. His upset team, or his surprise team, is going to be the Packers. He said the Bears can go fuck themselves. The Commanders can go fuck themselves. I think you said take the under on the Giants win total at 6.
6.5.
Yeah. And
not just 6.5.
6.5. And Kirk Cousin and his grandma's minivan isn't going to be good enough this year to make the playoffs. And Kyler Murray can't see over the offensive line.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right.
I want to know your picks before we wrap up and get out of here.
Well, I'm actually just looking at the preseason. You know, the Cardinals are going 0-3 in the preseason, and I guess the Falcons 0-3. Well, they probably didn't play the Kyle Murray and Kirk Cousins, but I mean, mine's pretty similar to yours. You know, I see the Eagles winning the NFC East. I see the Lions winning the NFC North. I see the Bucs winning the NFC South. I do see the Rams winning the NFC West.
Really?
I think Matt Stafford, even though he's old and past his prime, I can see them squeaking one out. So I like their running back. What's his name? Kyren?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
It's Kyren Williams, I think it is.
Either that or Murray. I think it's Williams. I think Kyren Williams is who you're talking about.
I like him, but I mean, I would say that's my. And then I got the 49ers, you know, obviously making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think those division games are going to be whoever wins that.
Correct.
NFC West.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, I think last year, it was kind of like a 2-game stretch for San Francisco, or a 2-game lead headed into the postseason. But I think, these last couple of years, LA has been very stingy for San Francisco as far as division rivals go, just because I always compare them to like the Bucs and the Saints. You know, for the longest time, no matter how good the Niners were, it never felt like they could beat the Rams.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. So I got the 49ers making it there. I think this is where people are going to tell me I'm an idiot. So I did say Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets, but I sometimes get things right. I think in the division, I think the Falcons make the playoffs. I think because they're going to beat up on the Panthers. I think the Saints I think they'll split with the Saints, but I feel like the Falcons with their out of division game will be fine. I think the NFC North is going to just beat up each other. They're all going to go 500. Packers still make it, or the Lions, and the NFC East is going to beat up each other. And the Eagles are the only team to make it out of the NFC East.
Okay.
And there you go. I don't have the Cowboys, I don't have the Commanders, I don't have the Giants. And yeah, I mean, I'm probably 100% wrong because the Cowboys are probably going to make the playoffs and the Falcons are not going to make it. But I'm just looking at the teams that they got to play around them. And if you look at their schedule, like right now, if you look at the Cowboys' schedule, they got decently, like the Browns is not a gimme. Yeah, Saints, okay. The Ravens, obviously a division game against the Giants. The Steelers are going to be a little bit better, which we haven't touched the AFC yet.
There is a really tough 5-game stretch there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lions,
there's some cupcake.
49ers, yeah.
Yeah, there's some cupcake games. Browns week 1 potentially. Go back up a little bit. You got Browns versus Saints. Ravens, that's going to be tough against Baltimore. But after that, you got New York, Pittsburgh. And then here it is. Versus Detroit, at the Niners, at the Falcons, versus the Eagles, versus the Texans.
That's right. And then a division game against the Commanders, at Washington. And then you go back to, the Giants. And then the Bengals, who knows how they're going to be this year. Panthers, that's a win, obviously. The Bucs, hopefully, it's a win. And then at the Eagles and the Commanders to finish your season out. So the Cowboys, in my opinion, aren't a guarantee. That's why I put Atlanta in there. I mean, Atlanta's kind of got a decently, tough schedule too. But I mean, they got Steelers, Eagles, Chiefs. Yeah, that's tough. Saints, these division games, I think everyone just completely sweeps the Panthers. I think Seahawks are going to be down a little bit. The Cowboys, once again, the Broncos, that's just an easy win. They play the Vikings. The Chargers, I still think are going to be about a 500 team. We haven't really covered the AFC. But, the end of the season against the Panthers, the Raiders. So, we'll see. But that's our picks. I mean, we were a little different. No Cowboys. As Alex Stein said, fuck the Cowboys pretty much, and Jerry Jones. So I'll go right along that. And next week, we'll cover the AFC. I think that's going to be a little harder because I suck the Kansas City Chiefs' dick, like Mike said.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a little bit of harder divisions here.
Yeah, I think the AFC, I mean, everyone said it last year and the year before. I think the AFC is just going to be way more fun to watch, especially now that we know there are some stars in the making. I'm excited for C.J. Stroud's second year. I'm excited to see Anthony Richardson come back. That whole AFC South division, Will Levis, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and then, of course, Trevor Lawrence. Like, a lot of people are hoping for those guys to have big seasons, and I really do think they can. The AFC North, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston,
Whoa. What? No. All right, we're going to go on that one. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, a lot of legendary QBs in the AFC. Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, they're going to get their hands all over the opponent.
I mean, I'm looking forward to a Bo Nix, too.
Yeah.
I mean, for him to, as Cooper Lips would say, 0-16. Probably not going to happen, but your boy Sean Payton, we'll talk about him next week. And you love you some Sean Payton. Hopefully you get worked up with Sean Payton as much as you did with Mike talking about his fake story.
His fake story? That's not a fake story, Lummy. It's a real thing that happens every day.
Not for Mike, though. He's the one who's causing the problem. But we will be back tomorrow. Obviously, Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back tomorrow, 6 a.m., right here on all your social media, from X to YouTube to Rumble, Twitch, Facebook. Check out our Instagram, our TikTok at the _Bubba_Army. And go for all your Bubba Army merch at Bubba Army Shop, Bubba Army Store, BubbaArmyMerch.com. Pick that all up. Tomorrow is our Friday. And then Rhett and I return with, hopefully, Colton, which I'm ready to dive into. Rhett got so emotional and so angry. I'm kind of looking forward to that, and I feel like Colton's going to feel for you, and he does live with his parents still. And I kind of want you guys to...
Oh, that's what we're talking about tomorrow, is the inflation and the out-of-towners affecting Florida? That's what our topic is?
No, but I feel like Mike's going to probably call back in and bring the show down to a screeching halt and bring that up again.
Yeah, bring some real heat to the table.
It sure is, and probably tell you how much Joe the Supermarket sucks, or whatever the hell he said. I don't even know what he said about poor Joe. So, Rhett, do you have anything?
He told Joe to walk it off.
Yeah, I know. What a dick. What a dick, Mike. Do you have anything?
No, I do not. Thank you, Lummy.
When's your next Can and Fire podcast?
We just dropped the 53-man roster review today. We should have a show out before the end of the week. Got some good stuff coming up between now and the start of the season. Next week, we will have a couple of shows with some Washington representatives. A former Washington wide receiver will be on the show as well. Should be a good time.
Is that Riddell Anthony?
No, it is not. Close.
Danny Werfel?
No, it is not. Close. Riddell Anthony was closer than Danny Werfel.
Jack West Green?
Almost.
Oh! I have to think about that one before you go check it out. Thank you, Rhett, and we will see you tomorrow morning.